Hello and welcome to this advanced tutorial on Cetopo selections. In this tutorial we'll go through all the different ways to select things in Cetopo and also how to find your projects and how to find the locations you're interested in. So to start off, we'll just go through the different tools here. And the first thing you would probably use would be the search box, for example. You can of course find your project by scrolling the map, but it can be much faster to just type the name of the location you're interested in into this box here and press enter and let the computer get you to that location immediately. After you're there, you'd probably use the rectangle tool to click and click to get a rectangle of the area you're interested in. This is the fastest way to just get some selection done, and you can then view that area quite easily by, for example, using the 2D preview here. Let's wait for that to complete, and there we go, we have a preview. Another way to select things is using the Polygon tool here. We would click, 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 and click to define a polygon of any shape. So you just click as many times as you need, and then you click once more on any of the existing corners to define a polygon. You can also define complicated polygons by clicking and dragging the corners or the midpoints of the selection you've already defined using some other tool. The third tool here, the 1, 2, 3, 4, allows you to select properties by clicking on the map. And this can be a very quick way to see how the properties are distributed and also to select individual properties, although they can sometimes be quite large, like this one, or that one for that matter. Now, on the topic of properties, you can see some information here about that individual property, and if you click that one, you can then copy it, and you can use the property search or ID search box here to query properties directly, and that'll just get you back here very quickly. But we can of course try some other property just to show that it works. So if I'll take that one and refresh my page and go somewhere far away, then it will take us back there. And we can see that this was actually a really complicated property, but it's still there. This can also be a good way to find if there's multiple parts of a property that's, for example, divided by a road. Then this is the easiest way to get all of the parts. The final selection tool in this toolbox here is the exact tool, which allows you to select rectangles of specific size. The main purpose of this tool is to select rectangles for physical models, for example, by specifying 20 by 20 centimeters here, and then some scale, for example, 1 to 3000 will get you this size of an area, which when displayed in 1 to 3000 scale will produce a rectangle of 20 by 20 centimeters. Going forward to the next set of tools, we would go for the transforms here. So clicking the first button here on this toolbox will transform your selection into a rectangle. Very convenient if you really need a rectangle. The second tool is the circle tool, which converts it to a circle, and the third tool smooths your selection. So different ways to get more complicated shapes that would be difficult to create otherwise. The last tool here just cancels your selection. The mid row here, this toolbox allows you to create complicated selections using modifiers. So you can either click these buttons here, for example, enable the add mode, in which case your selector will turn green and you can now add to your selection, or you can simply use the keys that are shown here. So for example, Shift will enable the add mode, Alt will enable the remove mode, Control will enable the intersect mode, or the intersect mode, and then Control Alt will enable the exterior mode, so which allows you to get the exterior of a selection. And these can be combined to create complicate, or any selection really, but perhaps some interesting applications of these are using shift click to combine properties very easily. Oops, not that property, but for example, to add properties to a selection quite handily. That's one application of it. Another application would be if you have already selected a property or some complicated selection and you then want the surrounding area, then you can use the exterior modifier to get just the exterior of your selection. If you have selected an area like this and you just want the interior, there's a special transform for that too. It's the Invert tool here. So just click that one and you'll get the holes. That should cover most of the select tools here. One more select related feature in Cetopo is the share feature. So by clicking this little icon when you have a selection, and it'll download you a little JSON file. And if you send this JSON file to a colleague or to anyone, and they drag and drop it here into the Cetopo map view, they can then also view your selection very easily. Alright, that concludes the selection tutorial, and it should cover all the different ways to select things in Cetopo. I hope this helped, and I recommend you to also watch the other advanced tutorials for Cetopo. Thank you for watching.